Did any of you ever have the problem of believing that the life of Jesus Christ 2000 years ago has anything to do with me? I did. I was brought up in a communist country, or even if I hadn't, even in many Christian countries, I think the prominent worldview of materialism, the body is everything that there is, and there's no continuity of your life. I mean, of course, life continues. It kind of goes into one into another. But in this world, where people believe that this is me and this is now and nothing, and there's no connection to the past, when people believe like that, even if it's ingrained in a very subconscious level, it can be very hard to believe and understand that the life of Jesus Christ 2000 years ago has anything to do with me. And apart from my experiences that I had with him, I believe that my openness to and acceptance of God's presence and the more and more increasing awareness that He's everywhere made it more possible for me to believe that Jesus Christ's life 2000 years ago actually has something to do with me now. Because of course, just like my consciousness continues, which is also easier to experience if you have out-of-body experiences, or or when you become aware of God everywhere and let it transform your consciousness. Of course, then His life must have something to do with my life now. And I know from my own meditations or experiences with God that when you come closer to Him and you feel His presence, you do have the love and the courage and the knowingness that it's possible to become and be His tool, and that you want to become and be His tool and help and tell others about Him and help them in times of despair. And I can very well, we also know, obviously, from stories, anybody can find them on YouTube, when people have been in deepest despair, where the ego cannot grasp anymore, where the ego has no ideas anymore how to live without God, that in those moments Jesus Christ appeared to them, either in physical form or in an ethereal form, but it doesn't matter. He comes to them and helps them to find the Father and to be with Him. And I can easily believe. And also when people melt, I'm just thinking, because I just tried to remember what I said in the German video. That's why I keep jumping a bit. So when people who've completely become one with Christ and see with His eyes the perfection in everything, even though now, with our awareness we think, oh, this is shitty, this is bad, not nice, but with Christ's eyes, you see the perfection in everything. And that from that standpoint, one can vow, I'll come back too and help others and tell them about God. So when Christ handed Himself over to the Father on the cross, when He stepped completely, when He died back home, basically, from that point that He knows, yes, I am with the Father, as a part of the Father, able to come back to people all the time, everywhere, and bring them to the Father, or the Father bring them to the Father and to myself, when people are willing to and ready and open. So this is why I believe, from my own experiences of life being beyond this limited form, and from my experiences with God and little things with Christ, not because anybody in a religious book told me that I have to believe, but because it is real. And I think it's necessary that people are more encouraged to actually sit down and ask God, that they can feel Him, learn to, that God lets them feel Him. That's the opening doorway, I think, to also allowing it, accepting and understanding that Christ is real, because ultimately He's in everything, but He has to manifest in a way that we can become aware of Him. So this is why I believe through experiencing and not through preaching,